You are listening to the Marriage Clinic Podcast, a podcast on love, marriage, and personal development. Our purpose is to inspire and equip you with knowledge and skills to enable you to have lasting and fulfilling relationships. Now your host, Joshua Mulgrew.
Welcome to the Marriage Clinic Podcast. As we keep saying, it's a podcast about love, marriage, and your personal development. And my name is Dr. Joshua Mulgrew, but I love to be called Uncle Josh. Uncle Josh. This week, we're looking at another interesting subject. This subject will really... a lot of people don't think about it too much, but it also happens to be very important if you really want to enjoy your relationships and your marriage. But as is our custom, I will always begin with scripture and then we'll jump right into it. Today we are looking at Philippians chapter 2 verse 4. Philippians chapter 2 verse 4. And it says, "To each of you, look not only to his own interest, but also to the interest of others." So what it means is that you're not supposed to only think about yourself. You should think about the interest of others. Today, I'm talking about managing expectations in a relationship. You normally get disappointed in a relationship based on what you expected the relationship to give you. In fact, in life, you get disappointed with so many things based on the expectation of what you thought the thing would give you. Let me give you an example. The reason why someone starts a job and after 3 months is willing to quit is that how he imagined the job and what is happening on the job is what we call the expectation gap. He imagined he's going to be in tie, he's going to be sitting in the office, the work is going to be simple, he's going to get paid at the end of the month. Now he gets there and they are giving him a list to go and buy waakye. Waakye is a Ghanaian meal made from rice and beans. They are giving him a list to go and buy waakye every single day. He says, "This is not what I signed up for." Someone says he wants to be a student. He's imagined himself with his diploma in his hand, his hat, on graduation day, but he realizes that he's going to have to attend lectures every day of the week, get shouted on by lecturers who keep changing and rearranging the schedule, and he didn't know that there will be extra cost apart from the school fees. In the same way, in relationships, if you do not manage your expectations, you either break up or you get divorced. Most of the time, when people are getting divorced, apart from when it's from infidelity and abuse, it is often because there is a gap in expectation. We've seen those videos, what I ordered versus what I got. And ordered and got, in between the two is your expectation gap. So today, if you can manage your expectations in your relationships, you will be able to enjoy your relationships better. So I'm going to see if I can give you between 5 to 7 points on how to manage your expectations in a relationship. The first one is be clear and direct. One of the best ways to manage expectation in relationships is to be clear and direct in your communication on what you want. Avoid sending mixed messages or assuming your partner understands what you want or need. Let me give you an example. You went to work. Your boss was very rude the whole day. You weren't able to eat lunch. It's been a long day and you are coming home. In your mind, you have begun to tell yourself that if my wife really loves me, when I get home, she should pick my briefcase. She should tell the children not to disturb me. She should let me go and sit in the room and bring my meal to the room on point. And then later on in the night, she should do the needful. If she does that, she loves me. Unfortunately, you didn't send a memo or a fax to your wife. So you get home, you switch on the light in the hall, and the light is off. She tells you, the power just went off. And because I'm handling the children, I couldn't go and buy power. Can you take the card and drive another 15 minutes in and out? So that will be 30 minutes and buy power. Expectation gap. Or maybe even there's power, but you get home and she's busy with other things. Be clear and direct on what you want in a relationship. Tell your boyfriend, based on my personality, I would like it if you call to check up on me within the day. At least if you call twice in the day just to check up on me, I will be happy. You have been clear on what you want. And now the person understands the standard you expect. Okay? Number 2, be realistic. You need to be realistic of your expectations. You can't get married and expect that you are going to have passionate sex every day of the night. Why? Because there's periods, there's malaria along the way, there's mood swings, there's traveling, so it's going to be different. You can't expect that you will always have money. This guy I'm marrying, he's wealthy. I mean, look at the car he drives. We will never have money problems in the relationship. You're joking. While we are dating, he's always laughing, so we'll never quarrel in the marriage. Unrealistic. All right? He's handsome, so his breath will smell nice in the morning. Unrealistic. So, as you are expecting something, you need to ask yourself if it is a realistic expectation. If it is a realistic expectation. That's all you need to figure out. So the second thing is be realistic in the expectations that you have of your marriage, of your relationship, and what you expect your partner to be able to do. Brings me to the next one, which is after you've been clear and direct and you have made your realistic expectations, you need to continually communicate your needs. Sometimes, when my wife is talking and she's discussing something that has happened within the day, I ask her, I said, do you want a husband who is going to just listen to you and hear you out, or you want a coach who is going to tell you what to do? And she'll say, today, I just want you to hear me out. So I remove that hat of solving problems and I put on the hat of being a caring husband and just listen. I don't offer solutions. I just say, wow, that must have been difficult. How could she do that? That annoying little girl. It's the expectation. She's communicated her need for the day. Sometimes you need to communicate to your spouse, I just need time alone today. I'm not going to imagine, I need time. I just need time alone to watch the game. Or maybe you communicate to your spouse, we just got trashed by 7 goals. Can you please just let me have an hour to lick my wounds? Communicate your needs. Very important. Avoid making assumptions. Assumptions is a recipe for creating a problem. Avoid making assumptions. You see, most of the time when you assume, you are making a mistake. You can assume I know. You can assume I've seen. You can assume I've heard. And the truth is, probably I don't know, I haven't seen, and I haven't heard. Probably I haven't seen, I haven't heard. So you need to come to that point where you realize that if I keep assuming that people or my spouse knows what to do, it won't happen. You have to over communicate. Are you with me? Type in the chat box, don't assume. Just type in there. Don't assume, don't assume, don't assume. Don't assume. All right? You need to bring yourself to the point where you don't assume stuff. Don't assume they know. Don't assume they will do it. Communicate. Then, today is going to be a short one. Then you need to show empathy. With the expectation you have of your spouse, if you put yourself in their shoes, can they perform? A couple of years ago, a husband and wife came to me and there was a financial problem. And she was going on and on about, It's a husband's responsibility to provide, and a husband is supposed to do A, B, C, D, and other men are doing this, and I don't see why my husband cannot do this and cannot do that. Then I asked her, I said, when was the last time you bought a new dress? How many new dresses do you have this year? She said, she gave me a rough estimate. I said, how many shoes have you got this new year? I said, when was the last time your husband bought a new pair of shoes? She was quiet. I said, if you look at his wardrobe, has he got new clothes this entire year? She said, no. I said, so even though he's not providing as much as you want him to provide, you need to recognize that he's doing the best he can. Yes, you wish it would be better, but put yourself in his shoes. If you had to deal with all the things he's dealing with, how do you think it will pan out? She said, Uncle Josh, you see, I wasn't looking at it like that. I wanted to say next time, look at it like that, but you can't do that. But sometimes when you empathize, you put yourself in the person's shoes. You realize that you are not as judgmental and you give the person some more space. All right. Number 6. You need to be open to compromise. Your marriage and your relationship will not be as perfect as you imagined it. So you at some point need to say, this is what I ordered, this is what I've got, this is how I will adjust it. Compromise. Marriage is compromise. Your wife is not going to keep the figure you expected she was going to keep. He's not going to make money as fast as you thought he was going to make money. He's not going to be as caring as you thought he was going to be. She's not. Continually happens in relationships, but we compromise. Yes, we wanted to get married by the end of the year, but we can't afford to get married. So in that case, let's compromise and do it next year in the middle of the year. Compromise. Brings me to the last one I'll talk about today, which is a relationship that works and a marriage that works is two people who are constantly forgiving each other. Because we constantly fall short. The good book says love covers a multitude of sins. We make mistakes. But in order to manage your expectations and be in the right place, you need to keep figuring out ways to forgive your partner. They will make mistakes. They will break your heart. They will not meet your expectations. Forgive them. Let it go. Don't be so quick to want to pay back. Just recognize that it's going to take some time, but gradually this issue will be solved. And gradually he will get better, but I need to keep forgiving him up until he gets better. Yes, this has been the Marriage Clinic podcast. As I said, today is going to be, or has been, quite short. We're looking at the expectation gap and how, if you do manage your expectations, you are going to be able to manage the relationships you are in better. Husbands and wives should realize and recognize that their spouses will not perform as they expect. And for that reason, they should readjust their plans and make sure that they meet each other halfway. My name is Dr. Joshua Mogri, and as I say, call me Uncle Josh. It's been a great time. Please share this. Please like it. Please leave a comment. Please send it to a friend or two. As you do that, we get this in front of more people, and I will be back with Ask Uncle Josh. Okay, Ask Uncle Josh. Today, what are you asking your uncle? Wow, Rachel, this one is sad. Rachel says, after 5 years of marriage, my husband brought a child home and he said he is his, so he will be staying with us. So I think you're trying to say your husband brought a child home and said that is his child and the child will be staying with you. I can't believe he had a child outside our marriage. Anytime I see the child, I grow so bitter. What do I do? This is a biggie. First of all, Rachel, I'll say sorry. It must have really hurt to find out that your husband had a child with another woman, and now he's asking you to raise the child. you have options. Option number 1, you have proof of infidelity. If you say you want to end the marriage, you're justified. However, that may not be the best course of action. I'll tell you a couple of things, and maybe you can send me a direct message and we can talk a little bit more. The first thing you need to understand is that that child has done nothing wrong. It's your husband and the other woman that cheated on you. That child didn't ask to be born into this situation. If the child could pick what situation to be born into, it wouldn't pick this situation. So as much as the child reminds you, you are misdirecting your anger, because your anger should be towards your husband. Number 2, assess yourself. If you cannot keep the child, you need to make it very clear to your husband that you're asking too much. There can be other places this child will grow up in a very nice way. If you don't want the child to be with the mother, or the mother has given up the child, there are several places we could take this child. I don't think I have it in me. But if you think you have it in me, then I would ask that you begin to study on blended families and begin to look at material about how to integrate a different child into your home. Because you're going to go through mixed emotions. It's going to be a challenge, but you need to learn about it. You need to practice it. You need to have open conversations with your husband. And then also you need to work at healing the relationship with your husband. If the relationship with your husband heals, it will be easier to handle the child. And I have seen situations where that illegitimate child ends up being the glory of the household and handling the mother like that is his biological mother. So I'm sorry about the difficulties you're facing. I know it is hard. My prayers and my thoughts are with you. If you choose to go on this journey, it's going to be difficult, but it will be worth it. So Rachel, thank you so very much for this question. I hope I've shown some light. If you need some more details, please send me a private message and we can discuss it a little further. God bless you. Take care. This has been the Marriage Clinic. My name is Dr. Joshua Mogri, Uncle Josh. Bye-bye.